Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. George Wright III here with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope your week has started off strong. And if it hasn't, I hope that some of the messaging we can do here today will help you to take it to the next level. So let's go ahead and start with the Daily Mastermind quote of the day. And you can find this every day on the Daily Mastermind Facebook page as well as the Instagram page. If you have the free download of the mobile app, you'll also see that in one of the tabs as well. But let's see, the quote today is, "To win, you've got to stay in the game," by Claude Bristol. To win, you've got to stay in the game. I love that quote because at the end of the day, it's not just about winning, but it's about avoiding failure in the sense of you'll never truly fail if you continue and you don't quit. That's the key to life. That's the key to business. That's the key to everything else, is to continue to win. You just don't have to give up. You just don't give up. So let's talk today about some business topics. I want to talk to you about branding and why should you bother building a brand. Now, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be an individual, you may be a high level or even a high achiever or a C-level executive at a company. And so you may have a brand, you may not have a brand, you may have a personal brand, you may not have a personal brand, or you could have a business brand. But branding is so important in business today. And it's not just for big companies, because branding is important not only to make you memorable to your consumers, but it also has customers and clients. It gives them the expectations of what it is that you want them to know about your company. It's a way of distinguishing yourself from your competitors and really clarifying what it is that you offer so that they can make better choices and they can work with you. So I've had a couple of examples recently of some ways to create some memorability. I mean, I had a potential client that I went into his office the other day, and I saw that he had a poster on his wall. And many of you know the Prosperity Pillars poster that I have. And I saw that on the wall, and I didn't know this client. I didn't know this individual. And I asked him about the poster, and he said, "Wow, I got this from this amazing event. It's from the Daily Mastermind." And he didn't even know that that's what I was associated with. But at the end of the day, it caused memorability for him, right? The same thing happens with that Phoenix logo that I have on my hat and my shirts at times. I'll have people come up to me in the gym and say, "I love that logo," and I know it's creating an impression for them. See, these are all examples of branding. It's not just about a slogan or a name or a logo. Branding is so much bigger. So let's talk a little bit about the key elements of successful branding. But before I do, let me talk to you just a little bit more about why you should be branding and what is branding. I mean, what is it in general? Because I think people sometimes think too simplistically about it and they don't understand how many great dynamics there are to branding. So branding is the process of really creating a distinct, durable perception of your company in your customers' minds, your company or your product. A brand it's a persistent, unique identifier for you, for individuals out in the marketplace, for your personality or your products, your integrity, whatever it is your company's trying to put out there. And although most people associate brands with big companies, even the smallest companies can use branding techniques with a lot of return on their investment. So, for example, like when a home-based entrepreneur ties a nice ribbon around their package and when they send it out, then they're branding their work. Or when a grocery store puts their logo on the bags that you're bagging your groceries with, that's branding. They're saying things even sometimes like just "thank you" or "thanks for being a customer." That's branding. It's setting an impression in the customer's mind. And, even though we associate brands with big names like, Crest or Healthy Choice or, Procter & Gamble kind of thing, branding's not just for big companies. When I say things on the Daily Mastermind, like "Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind," or "It's your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education," that repetition is branding. And techniques of branding could be anything from your logo to your colors, to your voice guide, to your slogans, your music that you attach to your company, mascots, qualities, all kinds of different things. And so there's a lot of different ways you can brand yourself and your company. But why should you brand? Why is it such an important thing? And I want to kind of talk to you about that for just a second, because time, money, and effort spent on branding, it definitely will come back to you as your process of moving your company or your personal brand out there intelligently progresses. Number one, you're going to get memorability. It's easier to remember a branded company than it is just a name of a company. Number two, you're going to get loyalty. I mean, brands are definitely things that create and inspire loyalty from their customers. You can create community with that. Number three, familiarity. And, psychologists and scientific studies have shown that, familiarity with brands induces people to have better feelings, right? And they're more apt to make decisions to buy your product or buy products from companies that they know, that they're familiar with, right? And then premium images and premium branding, you can charge a premium price. Branding definitely lifts the value of your product. It lifts the value of what you're worth in the marketplace and what your customers are willing to pay, for sure. Now, I also love the fact that branding can give you extensions to your company and your product life. So very well-established brands, for example, can simply add new products under their brand, and people already have loyalty and affinity to that product, even though it's a brand new product. And you're gonna add equity and value to your company by having branding. You're going to be able to, overall, long term, you'll be able to lower your marketing expense, because the more your brand is recognizable, the less you'll have to spend to create leads and sales and revenue for your customers or for your company. And so bottom line, branding, it just increases the bottom line, the top line and the bottom line. And it's definitely a little bit longer term game, but it definitely in the short term can separate you from your competition. It really helps you to create that uniqueness about you that allows you out of the chutes to help you to be able to create more revenue for your company. So hey, I want to do this for you real quick. In the short time we have, I want to give you a few questions and maybe some steps to check off when you create a brand, because I've gone through this scenario many, many times with clients, and we've kind of identified a short list of questions that we like to ask. And these aren't ones that are going to be very quick to answer. These are ones that hopefully you'll spend some time thinking through. But let me go through them with you. If you're looking at rejuvenating your brand or creating a brand from scratch, these are the questions you need to look at. Number one, what's your origin story? How did the company originate? Why was the company started? What's the reason? Every great company has this origin story. Things like Disney, some of the biggest companies, when their brands have an origin story, it makes a huge, huge difference on the value add that your brand gives. The second question is, what's your mission? What do you truly believe, and what do you want your consumers to believe about your company? What is your mission? Next, what is your logo? And a logo is very, very important because it helps you to establish this easily recognizable part of your brand. It's sort of an extension of the brand, a piece of the brand, and it displays a message. Help yourself by creating a logo that also conveys a message to the marketplace. Rituals. This is a key one for branding. What rituals do you want to create for your customer? Customers always, when it comes to brand, have rituals, whether it's buying your Starbucks coffee or using Google in your browser or, your doctor's office, whatever it is. What rituals can you create for your consumers that will tie back to your brand and give you affinity to your brand? Another question, a key question, is what's your niche? Now, this is broken down into things like, what is your target audience? What's your real specific customer or client that you're going for? And can you describe them in just 4 or 5 words? And in addition to that, along those same lines, what is not your target? Because sometimes it helps to identify who your brand is not targeting. And do you have 4 or 5 words that describe that? So for example, with the Daily Mastermind, it might be entrepreneurs or personal development or high achievers or business owners. It's not for certain people, and it is for other people. And you need to determine what that is for your brand. The more niche you can get, the more productive you're going to be. Also, what are your other brand attributes? What are the feelings and messages you want to convey? Who are your competitors? If you look at your competitors, that helps you to get a good feel for how you can uniquely position yourself in the marketplace, but also it helps you to understand how to really clearly differentiate who you are versus your competitors. And those are key questions, I think, that can help you guide, do I have a distinct, unique, powerful brand or not? Now, there's a couple of things that you're going to need to create when you do a brand, and a lot of people don't do this. This is a step that a lot of people don't do. Number one, you need to create a style guide. The style guide is a 4 or 5 page document that gives samples of your logos, the colors, the fonts that you use, and that's got to be consistent, because the one thing about branding is you have to be consistent across your website, your brochures, your collateral, your social media. Use those colors, use those logos, use them in the right way, and so establish a style guide. Also, you want to establish a voice guide. In my opinion, your brand needs to have a certain voice. And these voice guides are very helpful when you have other people that you bring on to write copy for you or design articles or create social media posts. Your voice guide is kind of the tone that you speak in, the words you use, the feelings you're trying to portray to your customer. So the style guide and voice guides are real critical. Obviously, logos, websites, and things like that. And a couple of tools that I'll just recommend to you that I've used, that some of the biggest brands have used. Number one, right at the top of my list right now, is Canva. Canva is a design program that is just so versatile. If you upgrade to the pro version, it's only like 14 or 15 bucks, but there's a free version that allows you to create collateral and logos and web pages and brochures and presentations and streaming. And the pro version has a way for you to upload your style and voice guide into it so that it automatically pulls up the right fonts and things. So Canva is a great tool. 99 Designs is another great place to go for design. Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Fiverr is a great place to get contractors that'll do things for very, very inexpensive. Design you a logo, create a brochure, create things for your company. And then obviously the simplest platform for designing and creating your site is WordPress, or if you want to use a funnel builder like a ClickFunnels or a Dropfunnels or things like that, those are great ways to get you started really inexpensively. So those are just some tools that I use, and that's really the message I want to give you today. I want you to be thinking about your brand, because some of us have just automatically assumed a very simple brand or a company that's not branded uniquely, and many companies have repolished their brand over time. So think a little bit about your branding. I hope those are some ideas that can help you to do that. And if you have any questions, hit me up on the Daily Mastermind at Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Mastermind. And I look forward to answering them for you directly. I answer all of those myself personally. Also, if you've not checked out yet, we've got a great mastermind event that's going to be coming up in Salt Lake City. It's a 1.5 day, 2-day mastermind strictly for business owners, individuals that are looking to grow their revenue. And I'm telling you, by the time you're done with this, your revenue is going to see some massive growth. We're going to be covering sales, marketing, strategy, as well as leadership development and people development. But you can go to Revd Mastermind, REVVD, mastermind.com, and check that out, or just hit me up as well. I can get you some information on that. That's our message for today, though, on branding. I hope you have an amazing day. I look forward to talking with you more tomorrow. Once again, my name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Talk to you soon.